The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius, they tell you to follow your heart. They tell you that intuition is all you need. They whisper sweet nothings about trusting your gut, about letting your feelings guide you. Lies. These are the comforting lies peddled to the weak, the unprepared, the ones content to drift aimlessly through life, tossed about by every passing emotion, every fleeting impulse. This is the philosophy of children, not warriors. We are not children. We are architects of our own minds, builders of inner fortresses, strategists in the theater of life. Your heart is a fickle thing, a playground for desires and fears, a battlefield of contradictory impulses. To follow it blindly is to surrender control, to become a puppet dancing on the strings of your own undisciplined emotions. Intuition has its place, but it is a tool to be wielded with precision, not a compass to be followed without question. Gut feelings are often nothing more than the echoes of past traumas, the reflexes of ingrained anxieties. To trust them implicitly is to be forever bound to the limitations of your past, to repeat the same mistakes, to remain trapped in the same cycles of self-sabotage. The world is a dangerous place, a constant barrage of challenges and temptations. To face it armed only with good intentions and a trusting heart is to invite defeat. You need something more, something stronger, something forged in the fires of self-discipline and relentless self-examination. You need an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that can withstand any attack, any temptation, any fear. This is not about suppressing your emotions, but about mastering them. It's about understanding the forces that drive you, the vulnerabilities that cripple you, the patterns that hold you back. It's about building a framework of principles and strategies that can guide your actions, even when your emotions are screaming for you to do something else. The masses are swayed by their emotions, driven by impulse and fleeting gratification. They are predictable, easily manipulated, slaves to their own desires. We are different. We are the few who choose to take control, who choose to build a life of purpose and meaning, who choose to forge ourselves into weapons of unwavering focus and unyielding will. The path is not easy. It requires constant vigilance, brutal self-honesty, and a willingness to confront the darkest corners of your own mind. But the reward is worth it. A life lived on your own terms, a mind that is your servant, not your master, an inner citadel that can never be breached. So abandon the comforting lies. Embrace the harsh truth. Begin the work of building your inner fortress. The battle for your mind is already underway. Are you ready to fight? The battlefield is not out there. It's within. Every choice, every decision, every fleeting thought is a skirmish in the ongoing war for your soul. Most people sleepwalk through this war, unaware of the constant assault on their minds, the subtle erosion of their will. They are bombarded with distractions, temptations, and manipulative messages designed to weaken their resolve and steer them towards mediocrity. The inner citadel is your defense against this onslaught. It's a carefully constructed edifice built from unwavering principles, rigorous self-discipline, and a deep understanding of your own psychological vulnerabilities. It starts with ruthless self-assessment. You must become intimately familiar with your weaknesses, your biases, your ingrained patterns of self-sabotage. Where do you falter? What temptations do you succumb to? What fears paralyze you? Only by answering these questions honestly can you begin to fortify the weak points in your mental armor. Denial is your enemy. Comfort is your enemy. Anything that shields you from the harsh reality of your own shortcomings will ultimately weaken you. Embrace discomfort. Seek out challenges. Expose yourself to situations that test your limits. This is how you build resilience, how you forge the mental steel that will protect you in the heat of battle. The mind is a muscle. It must be trained, conditioned, and pushed to its limits in order to grow stronger. Just as a bodybuilder subjects their muscles to intense strain to break them down and rebuild them stronger, so too must you subject your mind to challenges that force it to adapt and grow. This means stepping outside your comfort zone, confronting your fears, and pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. Read widely. Study the strategies of history's greatest leaders, thinkers, and warriors. Learn from their successes and their failures. Understand the psychological principles that govern human behavior. Knowledge is power, and the more you understand about the human mind, the better equipped you will be to defend yourself against its weaknesses. Cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions to different situations. Learn to identify the triggers that lead to negative patterns of behavior. When you feel yourself slipping, when you feel the urge to succumb to temptation, take a step back and analyze what is happening. What is driving this feeling? What are the potential consequences of giving in? By understanding the root causes of your impulses, you can begin to control them. Develop a system of mental checks and balances. Create rules for yourself that will guide your behavior in moments of weakness. For example, if you struggle with procrastination, commit to working on a specific task for a set amount of time each day, no matter how unmotivated you feel. If you struggle with anger, develop a strategy for calming yourself down before reacting impulsively. These rules should be specific, measurable, and realistic. They should be designed to help you stay on track, even when your emotions are pulling you in a different direction. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and challenge you to be better. Avoid those who enable your bad habits or drag you down with their negativity. Your environment has a profound impact on your state of mind. Choose carefully who you allow into your inner circle. Seek out mentors, role models, and peers who embody the qualities you aspire to develop. Learn from their experiences, seek their advice, and hold yourself accountable to their standards. Practice mindfulness. Learn to be present in the moment, to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Mindfulness allows you to detach from your impulses and make conscious choices about how you will respond. It is a powerful tool for cultivating self-awareness and developing emotional regulation. Regular meditation, even for just a few minutes each day, can significantly improve your ability to focus, manage stress, and control your emotions. Develop a strong sense of purpose. What is your ultimate goal? What do you want to achieve in life? What legacy do you want to leave behind? A clear sense of purpose provides direction and motivation, even in the face of adversity. It gives you something to fight for, something to strive for, something that transcends your immediate desires and impulses. When you are clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to resist temptations and stay focused on your goals. Your inner citadel is not built in a day. It is a lifelong project, a constant process of refinement and improvement. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt, but each time you fall, get back up, learn from your mistakes, and continue the work of building your fortress. The strength of your inner citadel will determine the quality of your life. It will determine your ability to achieve your goals, overcome adversity, and live a life of purpose and meaning. So dedicate yourself to the task. Embrace the challenge. Build your inner fortress and prepare for the battles to come. The war for your mind is ongoing, and only the strong will survive. Consider the story of James Mattis, a Marine general who served for over 4 decades. His nickname was Mad Dog, but he was anything but reckless. He was a scholar of war, a voracious reader of history, and a deeply strategic thinker. Mattis understood the importance of the inner citadel. He knew that the battlefield was not just a physical space, but a mental one. He spent years cultivating his mind, honing his skills, and developing the mental toughness required to lead men in combat. He prepared for every possible scenario, studying his enemies, analyzing their strengths and weaknesses, and formulating plans to exploit their vulnerabilities. He understood that victory depended not just on firepower and tactics, but on the ability to think clearly under pressure, to remain calm in the face of chaos, and to inspire his troops to fight with unwavering resolve. In the 2004 Battle of Fallujah, one of the bloodiest urban combats of the Iraq War, Mattis faced a complex and dangerous situation. His Marines were fighting house to house against a determined enemy, and casualties were mounting. The city was a maze of booby traps, snipers, and hidden insurgents. Many commanders would have panicked, resorting to brute force and indiscriminate fire. Mattis, however, remained calm and focused. He relied on his training, his experience, and his deep understanding of the enemy. He made careful, calculated decisions, prioritizing the safety of his troops while relentlessly pursuing the enemy. He used his knowledge of history and military strategy to adapt to the changing situation, constantly adjusting his plans and tactics. He communicated clearly and effectively with his officers, ensuring that everyone understood the mission and their role in it. He inspired his Marines with his courage, his confidence, and his unwavering commitment to their success. Mattis understood that warfare is not just about physical strength and weapons. It is a battle of wills, a contest of minds. The commander who can maintain his composure, think clearly, and make sound decisions under pressure is far more likely to prevail. The key, he knew, was to dominate the mental battlefield before engaging in the physical one. It's about having the mental fortitude to outthink, outmaneuver, and ultimately defeat your opponent. This requires constant training, relentless self-improvement, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. It demands brutal honesty with yourself, accepting your weaknesses and working tirelessly to overcome them. Mattis cultivated his mind through rigorous study, not just of military history and strategy, but also of philosophy, literature, and the humanities. He believed that a well-rounded education was essential for developing the critical thinking skills necessary to succeed in leadership. He saw the importance of understanding human nature, of understanding the motivations and desires of both his allies and his enemies. He developed the ability to think strategically, to anticipate future events, and to formulate plans that would give him the advantage. He honed his intuition, learning to trust his instincts and make quick decisions under pressure. Mattis embodied the concept of the inner citadel. He built a mental fortress that allowed him to withstand the stresses and pressures of command. He remained calm and focused in the face of chaos. He made sound decisions under pressure, and he inspired his troops to fight with unwavering resolve. His example demonstrates the power of mental toughness and the importance of cultivating a strong inner citadel. This wasn't something he was born with. It was a process of relentless self-improvement and intellectual curiosity. He actively sought out challenges and used them as opportunities to grow. He developed a habit of self-reflection, constantly analyzing his own performance and identifying areas for improvement. He understood that the journey of self-mastery is a lifelong pursuit, a constant process of learning and adaptation. The Battle of Fallujah highlights the importance of mental preparation and strategic thinking, even in the most chaotic and unpredictable situations. Mattis's inner citadel wasn't built overnight. It was the result of years of dedication, discipline, and self-reflection. He embodied the principle that true strength comes not just from physical prowess, but from the ability to control one's mind, to manage one's emotions, and to make sound decisions under pressure. Learn from his example, study his approach, apply his principles to your own life. Build your inner citadel and prepare for the battles to come. Because make no mistake, you are asterisk in a battle. The trap lies in believing that strength is solely physical, that resilience is an innate trait, and that the mind will simply follow the body's lead. This is the illusion that consumes the weak. They believe in shortcuts, in prepackaged solutions, in the idea that someone else will solve their problems. They chase external validation, seeking approval and acceptance from others, never understanding that true validation comes from within. They are slaves to their emotions, tossed about by the winds of fear, doubt, and anger. They react instead of respond, driven by impulse rather than intellect. They are easily manipulated, their thoughts and actions dictated by the agendas of others. They fail to cultivate self-awareness, remaining ignorant of their own weaknesses and blind spots. They avoid discomfort, seeking refuge in the familiar and the predictable, never venturing beyond their comfort zones to confront their fears and overcome their limitations. They are masters of self-deception, constructing elaborate narratives to justify their failures and protect their fragile egos. They blame external circumstances for their shortcomings, refusing to take responsibility for their own lives. They are addicted to distractions, constantly seeking stimulation and entertainment to escape the boredom and emptiness of their existence. They lack discipline, flitting from one fleeting interest to another, never committing to anything long enough to achieve mastery. They are surrounded by noise, by the constant chatter of social media, by the incessant demands of modern life, but they fail to find silence, the quiet space within where true understanding and clarity reside. They are followers, not leaders, content to drift along with the crowd, never questioning the status quo or daring to forge their own path. They prioritize pleasure over purpose, seeking immediate gratification rather than long-term fulfillment. They are afraid of failure, viewing it as a reflection of their worth rather than an opportunity for growth. They are unwilling to sacrifice, to endure hardship, to delay gratification in pursuit of a greater goal. They are consumed by envy, resenting the success of others rather than focusing on their own potential. They are quick to judge and criticize, projecting their own insecurities onto those around them. They are trapped in a cycle of negativity, constantly dwelling on the past and worrying about the future, never fully present in the moment. They are intellectually lazy, unwilling to engage in critical thinking or challenge their own beliefs. They are easily offended, taking personal offense at anything that contradicts their worldview. They are addicted to comfort, avoiding anything that requires effort or discomfort. They are emotionally fragile, easily triggered by criticism or setbacks. They are mentally weak, unable to withstand pressure or adversity. They are fundamentally unprepared for the realities of life, for the inevitable challenges and struggles that await them. They will crumble under pressure, they will succumb to temptation, and they will ultimately fail to achieve their full potential. This is the trap, and it is a trap of their own making. The weak choose this path, one brick at a time. They fail, not because the world is against them, but because they are against themselves. They refuse to arm themselves with the discipline, resilience, and mental fortitude required to overcome adversity. They prioritize comfort over growth, immediate gratification over long-term success, and external validation over inner strength. They are prisoners of their own minds, trapped within the walls of their self-imposed limitations. They fail to understand that the only true freedom is the freedom from their own weakness. The strategy to build your inner citadel begins with ruthless self-assessment. Understand that every flaw, every weakness, every insecurity is a potential point of entry for your enemies, both internal and external. Identify these vulnerabilities with cold, clinical precision. Do not shy away from the uncomfortable truths about yourself. Embrace them. They are the raw materials from which you will forge your strength. Recognize your fears, your doubts, your anxieties. Understand their origins and their triggers. Dissect them, analyze them, and learn to control them. They are not insurmountable obstacles, but rather signposts pointing the way to your weaknesses. Next, cultivate a strategic indifference to the opinions of others. The world is full of critics, naysayers, and those who seek to tear you down. They will project their own insecurities onto you, attempting to diminish your achievements and undermine your confidence. Do not give them the satisfaction. Learn to filter out the noise, to disregard the negativity, and to focus on your own internal compass. Seek feedback from trusted advisors, mentors, and those who have your best interests at heart. But ultimately, your success depends on your own self-belief. The opinions of others are merely data points, not directives. Use them wisely, but never allow them to dictate your path. Their judgment holds no power over your inner fortress unless you allow it to. Develop a deep understanding of human nature. Learn to recognize the patterns of behavior, the motivations, and the vulnerabilities of those around you. This is not about manipulation, but about self-defense. Knowing how people think and act allows you to anticipate their moves, to protect yourself from their weaknesses, and to leverage their strengths. Study history, psychology, and sociology. Observe the interactions of others. Learn to read between the lines. The more you understand human nature, the better equipped you will be to navigate the complexities of the world and to defend your inner citadel from attack. Knowledge of others becomes a shield for yourself. Embrace discomfort as a catalyst for growth. The comfort zone is a dangerous place, a breeding ground for complacency and stagnation. It is within the realm of struggle that true strength is forged. Seek out challenges that push you beyond your limits, that test your resolve, and that force you to adapt and overcome. Expose yourself to new experiences, new ideas, and new perspectives. Step outside your comfort zone regularly and watch yourself grow stronger, more resilient, and more adaptable. Your inner citadel is not built on comfort, but on constant expansion and enduring trials. Practice self-discipline relentlessly. Discipline is the foundation upon which all other virtues are built. It is the ability to control your impulses, to delay gratification, and to persevere in the face of adversity. Cultivate discipline in all areas of your life, from your physical health to your mental habits to your financial affairs. Develop a consistent routine, set clear goals, and hold yourself accountable for your actions. The more disciplined you are, the stronger your inner citadel will become. Discipline is the mortar that binds the bricks of your inner fortress, making it impenetrable to external forces. Cultivate a strategic mindset. Think several steps ahead. Anticipate potential problems and develop contingency plans. Learn to assess risks and rewards, and to make decisions based on logic and reason rather than emotion. Develop the ability to see the big picture, to understand the underlying dynamics of any situation, and to identify opportunities for advantage. A strategic mindset allows you to navigate the complexities of the world with clarity, purpose, and effectiveness. Your mind becomes a chessboard where every move is calculated and every outcome is anticipated. The weaker mind reacts, the strong mind plans. Control your emotions. Emotions can be powerful motivators, but they can also be blinding and destructive. Learn to recognize your emotions, to understand their origins, and to manage them effectively. Do not allow your emotions to control your actions. Instead, use your intellect to guide your behavior. Cultivate emotional detachment, the ability to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings, but about mastering them. A mind ruled by emotion is a fortress built on sand. A mind ruled by intellect is a fortress built on stone. Master the art of deception. This does not mean lying or cheating, but rather understanding how to present yourself in a way that is advantageous to your goals. Learn to control your body language, your tone of voice, and your facial expressions. Learn to read the body language of others. Understand how to create a desired impression and how to detect when others are attempting to deceive you. Deception is a tool like any other. Use it wisely, ethically, and strategically. Your image becomes a suit of armor, concealing your true intentions and protecting you from harm. Embrace solitude. Solitude is essential for self-reflection, introspection, and the cultivation of inner peace. It is in solitude that you can truly connect with yourself, away from the distractions and influences of the external world. Make time for solitude regularly, whether it is through meditation, journaling, or simply spending time alone in nature. Solitude allows you to recharge your mental batteries, to clarify your thoughts, and to strengthen your inner citadel. A solitary mind is a strong mind, unburdened by the opinions and expectations of others. Finally, never stop learning. The world is constantly changing, and you must adapt and evolve in order to survive. Commit yourself to lifelong learning, constantly seeking out new knowledge, new skills, and new perspectives. Read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, and engage in conversations with people who challenge your thinking. The more you learn, the stronger your inner citadel will become. Knowledge is power, and power is the key to protecting your mind from the assaults of the world. A mind that ceases to learn begins to decay. Your education is a never-ending siege against ignorance and weakness. Fortify your mind. Build your citadel. Consider the Roman Empire. Its legions weren't built on brute strength alone. Discipline, strategy, and unwavering loyalty forged their power. Each soldier was a brick in the wall, a component of a machine designed for conquest and control. That inner discipline, instilled through relentless training and brutal standards, was the bedrock of their military might. It was more than just physical fitness. It was a mental fortitude that allowed them to endure hardship, to obey orders without question, and to fight with a ferocity that terrified their enemies. Their leaders understood that a disciplined mind was as crucial as a sharp sword. They cultivated a culture of obedience, respect for authority, and a shared sense of purpose that bound them together as a cohesive fighting force. They faced countless betrayals, suffered crushing defeats, and endured unimaginable horrors, but their ability to maintain their discipline, their ability to resist the urge to panic or flee, was what ultimately allowed them to overcome adversity and emerge victorious. Think about the siege. The attacker's objective is not simply to breach the walls, it's to break the spirit of the defenders, to sow discord, to create panic, to erode their will to resist. They use a combination of brute force, psychological warfare, and deception to achieve their goals. Catapults hurl stones, battering rams pound against the gates, and spies infiltrate the city to spread rumors and incite rebellion. The defenders, trapped within the walls, face constant bombardment, dwindling supplies, and the ever-present threat of betrayal. Their only hope is to maintain their discipline, to trust in their leaders, and to fight with unwavering resolve. They must resist the urge to panic, to abandon their posts, or to surrender to the enemy. They must understand that the battle is not just for the city, but for their very survival. The siege is a metaphor for the daily battles we face in our own lives. The external pressures, the internal doubts, the constant barrage of negativity that threatens to overwhelm us. Our inner citadel is the fortress of our mind, and we must defend it with the same ferocity and determination as those ancient warriors. We must build up our defenses, strengthen our walls, and cultivate a spirit of resilience that will allow us to withstand any attack. The mind is a battlefield. Every day, you are bombarded with information, opinions, and distractions that seek to influence your thoughts and actions. To navigate this chaotic landscape, you must cultivate a strategic mindset, a way of thinking that allows you to analyze situations, identify threats, and develop effective plans of action. This requires a deep understanding of yourself, your strengths, and your weaknesses. You must be honest with yourself about your vulnerabilities and take steps to address them. You must also be aware of the tactics that others use to manipulate and control you. This includes understanding the power of propaganda, the art of persuasion, and the subtle ways in which your emotions can be exploited. By developing a strategic mindset, you can become a more effective decision maker, a more resilient individual, and a more formidable opponent. You can transform your mind from a passive receiver of information into an active force for change. The concept of psychological warfare extends beyond the battlefield and into every aspect of human interaction. It is the art of influencing the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of others to achieve a desired outcome. This can be done through a variety of methods, including propaganda, deception, intimidation, and manipulation. Understanding the principles of psychological warfare is essential for protecting yourself from being exploited by others. It allows you to recognize the tactics that are being used against you, to resist their influence, and to develop your own strategies for influencing others. It is not about becoming a master manipulator, but about empowering yourself to navigate the complex social landscape with greater awareness and control. Inner dominance is not about exerting power over others, but about mastering yourself. It is the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, regardless of the external circumstances. It is about taking responsibility for your own life and refusing to be a victim of circumstance. This requires a deep understanding of your own psychology, your motivations, and your fears. It also requires a commitment to self-discipline, self-control, and continuous self-improvement. Inner dominance is not something that is achieved overnight, but it is a journey of constant learning, growth, and self-discovery. It is about becoming the master of your own destiny. The architecture of your mind is the ultimate battleground. Every fear, every insecurity, every doubt is a weakness in the wall, a breach in your defenses waiting to be exploited. Fortifying the inner citadel demands relentless vigilance, an unyielding commitment to identifying and eliminating these vulnerabilities. This isn't a passive process. You don't wait for the enemy to attack. You actively seek out the cracks, the flaws, the structural weaknesses that compromise your mental integrity. It's brutal self-assessment, a constant interrogation of your own beliefs and motivations. Consider your anxieties. Each one is a potential point of leverage for your adversaries, a way to control your behavior, to predict your actions, to undermine your resolve. To conquer fear, you must dissect it, understand its origins, and expose its irrationality. This requires facing your deepest insecurities head-on, confronting the demons that lurk in the shadows of your mind. It's not about denying fear, but about mastering it, transforming it from a paralyzing force into a source of strength. Harness that energy. Channel it into preparation, into resilience, into unwavering determination. Doubt is another insidious enemy that can erode your mental fortifications. It whispers lies in your ear, questioning your abilities, undermining your confidence, and tempting you to abandon your goals. To combat doubt, you must cultivate a deep sense of self-belief, a conviction in your own potential that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. This requires building a solid foundation of competence, mastering the skills and knowledge necessary to achieve your objectives. It also requires cultivating a resilient mindset, a refusal to be discouraged by setbacks or failures. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Extract the lessons it offers and use them to fortify your resolve. External validation is a mirage. Seeking approval from others is a dangerous game, as it makes you vulnerable to their opinions, their judgments, and their manipulations. True strength comes from within, from a deep sense of self-worth that is independent of external recognition. Cultivate a strong internal compass, a clear sense of your own values and principles, and let that guide your actions. Don't be swayed by the opinions of others, but trust your own judgment, your own intuition, and your own inner voice. The modern world is a relentless assault on your mental state. Social media, advertising, and the constant barrage of information are all designed to influence your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. To protect yourself from this onslaught, you must develop a critical eye, a skeptical mind, and a strong filter for information. Question everything. Challenge assumptions. Seek out diverse perspectives, and never blindly accept what you are told. Guard your attention. It is a precious resource that must be protected at all costs. Mental resilience is not about avoiding adversity, but about learning to overcome it. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, but it is how you respond to these experiences that determines your character, your strength, and your ultimate success. Cultivate a growth mindset, a belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth.